Talks. People, welcome to Girl Movie Talks. This is MLaura talking and my beloved friend, Freddy. Hello, Freddy. How are you?
Hello, welcome. I'm fabulous. How are you, Maria Laura?
Fabulous as well, thank you. It's been quite a week.
I mean, yeah, this is holidays, Christmas, so of course.
Christmas week, yes. You finally end up eating everything you didn't eat throughout the whole year.
All delicious, all good, but yeah, those extra pounds,
Yeah,
they are.
yeah. I can't say no regrets because it was so much.
I
But
can say no regrets because it was good, but
yeah, but it
it's
was
too
so
much.
much. As it is too much, the
It's also too
impression.
much.
Shut up. As it is too much, the impression I have for this movie we are about to talk about. What is it, Freddie?
Eraserhead from David Finch.
Exactly. The first movie of David Lynch, properly. Okay. And
And Lynch, yes, I said Finch. Um, and look, what a first movie this is. This movie is a statement.
it's like, wow, if you begin like that.
I mean, to me, and I'll be fully honest, I had to rewatch it, and by that I mean I had watched this movie about 20 years ago, but I just did not understand any of it. So I said, you know what, this is the perfect situation to just rewatch it and fully fresh because honestly, I just remembered the baby. That's it. That's what I remember. I'm like, no, that's that. This movie cannot just be the
Yeah.
baby.
If you can
So
call it a baby, yeah.
I mean,
But
but now that I have I don't know, I've lived more. I have a different perspective, a more mature perspective on things. I can appreciate it.
right.
I will say that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a profound metaphor in this movie. I mean, and it's so delicate in terms of the scene, the acting, the
But
everything was so well measured in
let's
this.
introduce our viewers first to this not so delicate piece of cinema. I mean, this is in 1977.
Hmm.
So there is a very specific kind of cinema that was being done at the time here in the US at least, and this has nothing to do with it. Like this is a very unique, still black and white. First, we already had movies in color, but this one decided to go black and white.
And with a high key of black.
Yes. Uh, I mean, beyond
I
the
mean,
colors, it's also the metaphors being used. I like that you already brought that up
yes.
because this movie is not literal. Everything has to be interpreted. Like even for myself, I think there is a hardly a storyline. There is,
Yeah.
but there is a barely one. You really have to try to put the pieces together and see what you make out of it, and which I like. It's a good exercise.
Hmm.
Um, but look, as for regular viewers, I'm sure this movie will either horrify you or just turn you off altogether because it's a hard watch in the sense that it's a lot. It asks a lot of the viewer,
Yeah.
but I like the message. I felt very much. It was a very relatable topic for me.
For
I
many
have
of us.
yeah, I have a thing with babies. I'm not when babies again being very candid with you viewers. When babies still don't talk, it frustrates me. So
Yeah.
I think this movie goes there very much. And also the whole thing about parenting, being in a
Okay, but
relationship.
you haven't summarized the movie. Let's begin by summarizing the movie. How can you
You
summarize it
summarize
in
the
just a few
movie.
words?
Tell me. You tell me. Summarize it.
Ah, me. You were the one who broke the conversation to ask for a summary. Okay, okay. So here's a summary. There's a regular guy. Okay. A regular guy. He works, he lives a life. Okay. And suddenly he is involved into some sort of domestication situation. It's a situationship. He is involved in this just because he had some intercourse with this woman. Okay. And actually, the woman turns out to be pregnant. Okay. And they both have a baby, which in the movie is pretty much a very noisy creature. Okay. It's not a regular baby. I mean, come on.
It's portrayed as it doesn't look like a baby. You know
Uh-huh.
it's a baby because of the crying and
Exactly.
the
Yes.
need of it to be taken care of. But actually, it looks, and again, let's face it, like a monster. It
Uh-huh.
just
Yeah.
very ugly, which babies are.
Again, this is a metaphor, okay? A very surrealistic metaphor, okay?
Yes,
Extremely
and
surrealistic. I mean, the levels
very.
of surrealism of this movie are out of this world, all right? And actually, it's quite interesting because you just place a bunch of actors pretty well directed into let's say what it looks like erotical behavior, weird behavior, and you make a masterpiece of a horror movie, okay? Because it didn't need too much of, too much of horrifying effects or whatever, but just the situation.
It's a horror movie because of the situation you're in.
Exactly.
There are no jump scares. There are no I don't know. There are no regular horror elements besides body horror. However, the body horror is used to represent or exaggerate a very specific scenario of parenting.
Yes.
And so that really catches my attention just because it's very relatable to me. And again, this is a podcast where none of us have kids.
Mhm.
So do not judge us people. Most likely we're not going to have any kids besides our cats. Those are our kids because they are
Exactly.
lovely and beautiful from the get-go. We're not going to have that situation where this,
And to all of our friends who have babies, well,
we love
you
you.
knew us from before, okay? So
You do you.
exactly. But the thing is, I mean, it's highly disturbing, absolutely disturbing. And I didn't think it was going to disturb me that much, but just the combination of, again, the very high key of blacks of this movie, together with the marvelous acting and key points within the direction and the crafting of the scenes. I mean, for example, something as simple as, water boiling, okay? If you place a camera very, very close to that and you add some sounds and some lighting, that can also be disturbing, okay? So and very well played, okay, because those scenes entered in in particular after particular issues happening in the movie, and the whole pathetic portrait of this guy uh, living alone, with his single bed. His sheets
Yeah,
were
and
all
and
torn
and
and
not really
dirty.
knowing how to face adulthood. That also struck me. Like he
Yes,
struggles to deal on with regular situations, like meeting the parents. That was insane. Uh, the girlfriend or what? Well, I think it's girlfriend. I don't think they're married. They 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 it didn't stay together. He was left alone with the baby, which is at the time uh, outrageous because
Horrifying.
the baby stays with the mother. So the fact that the mother abandoned the baby, it's also very atypical.
Yeah.
It can happen, but again, for the time the movie was made, it's also
Yes.
very very specific.
And the mother also feeling highly stressed with the situation of having a baby. I mean, this wasn't a loving mother, okay? It's,
That's something we haven't mentioned either, in my opinion. I haven't really read this anywhere, but I do think there is some portrayal of mental illness, specifically on the guy. I do think there is at least some kind of mental issue representation here. Don't ask me if that was the intent, because let's face it, there are some hallucinations here. I do think
but I
there
think
are
it's
some kind
part
of
of, in my case, I think it's part of the surrealism more than, these are people with mental issues. No, I mean, again, the
could be.
direction was to, to have people behaving weird, okay? It's not common to see, a regular family behaving like that, okay? But again, it's part of a surrealism.
In my opinion, it is surrealist, but that doesn't mean that it cannot be based off on deviations from the norm that generally come tied to. And
Yeah.
when I say, and again, there is no stigma in when I say mental illness, because
Yeah.
anything could be a mental illness. So, but again, there is no name, but I do think there are some hallucinations because multiple times, for instance, we see the guy losing his head. So it
Yeah.
could be the metaphor or of, hey, I'm losing my mind over
Exactly.
something. But at
Yeah.
the same time, it could just be a hallucination. We don't really know. But that's also the beauty of it. That is exactly
Exactly. Yeah.
what makes this movie so special. And thank God the movie was actually admitted to the National Museum here in the US for preservation. Just because again the and you already mentioned it, the music and the visuals are, if you ask me, unparalleled. This has been imitated multiple times, but
Mhm.
this was the one of the very first times this was done, and it just started this movement of surrealist imagery in.
Exactly.
So it is something worth um mentioning and bringing up, because yes, the movie is very hard to watch. It's not easy, but at the same time, hey, there is a lot of artistry put into this film, and it's very thoughtful because, like you said, just thinking of uh, any parent would know. I imagine there is no school for parenting, so you
Yes.
could very much be terrified of being a parent, and that is a very relatable point to this movie. Like, you have no clue what to do in those circumstances, and when you're faced with that fear, what do you do? So
Exactly. And everything becomes stressing. I mean, this guy, and at some point you look at the face of the guy and you start feeling ashamed for him, because I mean, it's just his whole expression during the whole movie. He said he was like, I don't understand how I'm being part of this, okay? I don't understand. I don't even know the reasons why this is happening, okay?
mhm.
Although you pretty well known what you did with that girl, so it's like, okay, the level of responsibility avoidance of that character was very explicit just by the look on the guy's face,
And
okay?
let's face it, there is a lot of that in men in relationships. Sometimes they just don't really associate the fact that, hey, you already had intercourse, you may or may not get a baby out of it. And of course, one thing leads to the other. And a lot of times, guys are just, oh, but why did this happen?
How?
Yes, you're already an adult. So that situation is very much portrayed here. MLaura made another great point. Uh, Parenting comes from somewhere, it doesn't just show up. So, and the mother here at the very beginning of the movie confronts him about it very violently. but she does. She's very straightforward and say, "Hey, what do you do with my daughter?" And he's just avoiding the question, very uncomfortable. And it's like, "Okay, no, you already did it. Now this is the consequence. Why? What's the problem?"
Exactly. Yes. And of course, as you said before, at that time, it was so unconceivable to behave like that in front of parenting, you know? It's like, okay, this is a responsibility. You have to face it whether
Period.
you like it or not, okay? And the whole context, even the sounds, everything's so industrial in this movie, okay? The sounds, it's like you are immersed on a system, okay? On an industrial system. I mean, you are part of it, okay? And this guy never goes to work, but you can easily get the idea that this is a part of an industrial context.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, the his attire, the environment.
The
It's
pens, the quantity of pens he's carrying on his pockets.
yeah, yeah. He's very much a product of an industrialized society.
Absolutely.
And at the same
Absolutely.
time, that also contributes to his possibly lack of understanding when it comes to family, not family, but human relationships. Because let's face it, corporations and all of that, there are very specific environments. It's different to real life. So,
Now, the power of silence in this movie. I mean, those awkward pauses when he was having this dinner with his family, okay? And you had a father who was looking at you and smiling like nonstop. That silence, I mean, you can easily feel unease when you're watching that, okay? It's like, oh my God. I mean, the whole movie makes you feel really uncomfortable, okay? I mean, if that was of course, it was a point, David Lynch, rest in peace. But I mean, you made it so great, okay? And again, to be the first movie, this guy was way evolution at the time he made it, okay?
that that movie does not belong to 1977. Oh my god, yeah, it still amazes me. Like, I really wish I could just have a talk with David Lynch at the time and just say, "Hey, what were you thinking?" Because this is it, yeah, his mindset for this movie had to be something very specific. I don't know if he was going through depression at the time. If you ask me, he may have well been, but still, he managed to translate whatever was in his mind to cinema, and that accomplishment alone, whatever the message is, it's just a huge accomplishment. It's yeah,
Yes, yes. I understand the reasons why he became that famous,
yeah.
okay? Because, I mean, come on. When you have directors like that, like, they defeat all the norms, okay? Within, societal norms, within, even cinema, at the moment it was made, okay? I mean, it is technically black and white again, but it's a different type of black and white. Okay, it's not the black and white we are all used to.
Black and white. Yeah, he was very thoughtful of how it would look on the screen. It was not just, oh, black and white because it's a technology available to us now. He purposely designed the cinematography around black and white, and you can tell.
And the textures. I mean, no special effects, just textures, just good use of liquids,
Do
good
you know
use
what the
of
budget of the movie was?
no.
If I remember correctly, I read it earlier today. $100,000.
Wow.
So I imagine with inflation and whatnot, most likely it's about $1 million today, which is still is very low for any kind
Any
of
movie. Mm-hmm.
oh, yeah, that's also very much commendable. He accomplished a lot with very little money, and that always goes to show. And this is exactly what I love about independent movies.
Yes.
It's not the budget; it's really how you use what you have, because those parts can come together to make something bigger than the sum of its parts. This is exactly it. Like if you really go to the small details, there is not much. There is just a few actors, the the baby, the props in general, and that's it. But
And
the
like
way
three settings, his room, the family's house, and one room only, which is the dining room.
and the stage for the lady
Exactly.
dancing over the fetus.
I mean, can you imagine listening to those lines she sang at 2 a.m. in the morning? That's so creepy.
Yeah, that's a scary already. Yes.
It's so creepy, and the woman is not creepy, okay? She's just there dancing, singing, and making those gestures.
It has
And
exaggerated features, the cheeks, but that's it. It's only the cheeks. It's the only abnormal thing about her, and
for
yet it's not creepy.
exactly, I mean, for me, it represented the earth as it is, and a way to escape for him, okay? So yeah, it was like those moments where he was sleeping or daydreaming or something that there is escape. This is natural as earth, okay? And it's part of life, as simple as that.
That to me, that's exactly where I pretty much got the idea of possible mental illness. Because to me, it's like he was looking into the heater, and like he gets to this stage with this lady dancing. So like, okay, and also I also think this is a sign of he's he feels castrated. I think the character also uh, does not fully understand what quote unquote being a man is, and so a very easy representation is, you could also say that things she's stepping on is spermatozoids. So at the same time, I also looked at it as,
I saw them like fetuses.
I also thought of fetuses, but the shape that because they were way more elongated. So you could also say again, it's surrealist. So don't you could interpret it honestly whichever way you want to. So I agree with you. I also thought they were fetuses, but at some point I thought, well, they look like spermatozoids, and why is she stepping on his? And clearly it hurt him. So I also think it goes back to he doesn't know how to deal with these situations. And that's a very visual representation of lack of power. He's just not women, but life or the world just, castrating him constantly about not, and that translated as not knowing what to do ever.
It's sad. And that part of a dream where he loses his head and the kid takes his head and they make more pencils. Like, okay, just for the record, this is actually very normal, and eraser heads that are like, everywhere, normal, okay? Like, okay, there are many of this kind of people, okay? It's regular. Fantastic, fantastic. Final scene, whenever, I mean, when he finally turns out to see light in this whole darkness. I don't know. For me, it was like, okay, he definitely surrendered to the stress and he died. Okay? As simple as that. He couldn't
Yeah,
stand that.
because the few moments of the film are very um out there with the baby, just removing the cloth, and then, oh, it's the organs. And out of a stress he punctures one organ, and I'm pretty sure just it may have been the end of the baby, I don't know. um and then yes, he just embraces the light, the lady in the heater. So that
Yes.
that to me is also another metaphor for, just
Yeah,
giving himself to the light.
exactly. Yeah, we can easily think that, he finally got irrational and he ended up the life of this baby. Okay? As simple as
And
that.
he's
I
own.
can't
And
deal
he's
with
own.
it. Exactly. Exactly. And he's so and period. Okay? I can't deal with this level of responsibility, which is very similar to the levels of stress we are currently living.
Well, I mean, I find very funny that the baby sound is not really that annoying, and yet it is unsettling because he could have gone with just very incessant crying and just make it very obnoxious, and David didn't. He just no. I just want the constant reminder that there is a baby needing something, and you just don't know what it is, and you have to deal with it, and that decision, that it's very mindful because anybody else, and I'm pretty sure myself, would have probably just put a very annoying baby crying, and it wasn't that annoying, but it was unsettling. So that's how precise the movie is. That you would not necessarily think of it at first, but when you really think about it, is wow, no, he really thought of every small detail for a final product.
Absolutely, absolutely. And well, unfortunately, just as the end of that character in the movie, this show also needs to end.
Oh my God, what a transition. I love that. Yes, you're taking, yes, the award this year. Okay. Look, this movie, I insist, it's hard to watch, but give it a try. You never know if you like it. And for those who don't have any kids, I think this is made for you. Just watch it. You will not want any kids ever.
Exactly. And that you can feel safe. You have some support. Someone has felt just like you before.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Freddie, what do people have to do with Go Movie Talks?
Drop in your comments, your experience with babies,
Whatever
or
that
not,
is.
or not. And like, subscribe, share. Let us know what you think, and please just watch it. And if not this, tell us what you're watching. We'll we'll get to it as well. Clearly we have a very wide taste in movies, so please just enjoy it. Have fun with us.
And just for the record, I don't know if this matters or not, but this is the last show, the last 2025 show we are recording, and the first one we are playing in 2026.
It will
So
be,
this,
yes, it will go live the first or second of January. So happy new year. Happy 2026. We really hope this year comes with lots of personal projects you will accomplish, and at the same time lots of good movies that we're going to be discussing right here in Go Movie Talks.
and remember, it won't stop being stressing as the movie. Okay? Please, please, please don't end up with your life or any baby's life.
2026. That's your motivational message for this year.
Keep watching Go Movie Talks.
Thanks for watching Go Movie Talks.